of you Pisces should really be spending your time doing whatever it is that you want to do. Look, you have the Nine of Cups, Ten of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles, right? Some of you Pisces may be a little bit too worried, right, with the Nine of Cups. You may be a little bit too worried about what past significant others are up to, if they're doing all right, if you're doing better than them. Listen, you Pisces shouldn't even be worried about that type of stuff. You should be living your life, enjoying yourselves as much as you possibly can. You know, a lot of you, quiet is kept. A lot of you is New York, especially since Friday. A lot of you are hard workers. Quiet is kept. So a lot of the times, you Pisces really don't get the credit of being told that enough. Here's the situation though. The Ten of Swords represents, because what's getting you to think about these people over and over and over again is the idea that when you were trying to get to know them, they didn't respect you. So now you're trying to compare your life to theirs. And that's not necessarily the best way that you should be living. Now, you can do that if that's what you want to do. But the Queen of Pentacles represents, if you choose to do that, your priorities are going to be all out of whack. So what you got to do is the Queen of Pentacles, right? Be the Queen of Pentacles. Pay attention to what you need to do. And that will automatically get your mind off of these crazy exes that you're trying to compare yourself to, right? And the Temperance represents, because comparing yourselves is only going to put you in a position of you being worse off because of it. So the thing about it is, the Nine of Pentacles, is about how you should be so busy handling your own business, enjoying your own life, to the point where you really don't have too much time to be sitting up here worrying about what some big goofy did to you and what it is that they ultimately said. Because the Justice represents, because what you're forgetting that I'm going to have to remind you Pisces of, right? And remind you, Justice represents Libra. Pisces is the higher octave of Libra. So you Pisces have to understand that what you're forgetting is people who take the time to screw over people, and they do people dirty often. The world is a very small place. They can't really go too far. They can't really do too much, you know. So they end up being very paranoid, because they understand that at some point somebody is not going to take the stupid stuff that they do, and they may lash out at them in an unexpected way. So their paranoia is enough, right? And that's the type of life that they gotta live. You Pisces should not be living that type of life where you're looking over your shoulder, where you're thinking about, you know, what exactly is going on with this ex, right? Do I think about my exes from time to time? But I don't spend so much of my time thinking about them at all. And the Five of Cups represents, right, and the Wheel of Fortune, because again, you would be creating your own anger because of that. So the Wheel of Fortune represents the Wheel of Fortune, and the Death card represents you need to look at your past relationships from a different perspective. Instead of you looking at it, trying to compare yourselves, right, to figure out whether or not you're better off on some super competitive stuff, look at it from a perspective of, you dodged a terrible relationship. You dodged a would-be terrible relationship if you would have got with them. Because a lot of times when people get dumped, when people don't work out, you notice that you don't really ever hear people kind of glad about that, because you should feel glad that you missed out or to miss the boat on dysfunctional people. You understand what I'm saying? Because in the bigger scheme of things, these people don't really have your best interest in mind, Pisces. So now you have the Death card and the Strength. This is about, you have to pay attention to that mindset of your ego telling you that you lost. Who told you you lost? And this is why the ego is so tricky, because your ego got a lot of you Pisces, to a certain extent, upset that you dodged a terrible relationship because you wanted to win. Yeah, but what is the quality of your win? So let's clarify, right? Let's clarify the Nine of Pentacles to kind of give you some more perspective on that. So to clarify the Nine of Pentacles, one more shuffle, we have the Devil, right. Two of Pentacles, the World, the Magician, right. To be in a relationship with those would have been exes, or those people who started being jerks. Some of them may have even be exes. The situation would have been much worse if you would have kept hanging out with them. They would have increased the disrespect and the antics. This is why I tell y'all, people who spend all this amount of time playing games, they're very inauthentic, right? Because as much as it is, as people may think that I'm a dork or whatever it is that they think about me, I'm not gonna say too much to kind of give it away, but I know a couple of people, right? And I've had plenty of people play games, you know, and that's the same thing with you Pisces. You've had plenty of people play games, but you shouldn't even feel terrible about that, right? The Two of Pentacles is about how you got to look at it from a perspective, or you should look at it from a perspective of what is there to debate about. You dodged someone that was dysfunctional, but the World and the Magician represents, you may need time to see why, because some of you may still be thinking about them every now and again, but the World and the Magician represents, you may need time to see why it was a blessing in disguise for you to actually get away from this person, to not be with this person, for you to be estranged from this person, for you to completely dub each other and not be with each other. Because the Magician is about how, because your life, regardless of whether it is that you're doing, whether it is that you know it or not, you Pisces life is way better compared to how it could have turned out. So one more thing. So let's clarify the strength, right? Let's clarify the strength. Page of Cups, Ten of Cups, King of Wands, Eight of Cups. To clarify the strength. Right, because this person would have never turned off the games that they were trying to play. They would have just kept going. And the King of Wands, yeah, because they're super entitled, but which means that they're super delusional. Because people who are that entitled, they're not all the way upstairs. Let's just say that. But the Eight of Cups represents, and the fact that you got out, they're trying to do that same stuff that they tried to do to you that didn't work for a very long time or at all. They're trying to do the same thing to somebody else. So you really did dodge a terrible relationship. So what should you Pisces be doing now? You Pisces should be counting your blessings at the fact that you don't have to deal with a with an idiot, with a deranged idiot, and do whatever it is that you want to do. Go out, date, stay single. Sky's the limit.